कालीकूर्च समायुक्त माया कोडोपदेशतः प्रणवार्थ प्रबोधिन्यौ नमामि गुरुपादुके श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः क्रीं मात्रे नमः नमः सदसे वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रतं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते. Good afternoon to one and all. Today we are going to see the next part of the Tattvabodha video. I am really happy that it is at least getting 100 views for each part of the video, and I will be happier if there could be more views. So whoever is watching Tattvabodha, if you feel that it will be useful to somebody else, please share it. That being said, we are going into the crux of the matter. We are going to start with the actual Tattva Viveka, that is the purpose of Tattvabodha. And previously we saw what are the qualities a person must have in order to pursue this knowledge. So it is not that you must have all those qualities in completion in order to start this. If you are in the practice or if you are desiring those qualities, then you can continue with this practice. So we saw the fourfold path of Viveka, Vairagya, and then Sadhana Shat Sampatti, Samadhi Shat Sampatti, and then finally we saw the Mumukshutva, are the four qualities. And in that four qualities, in the third quality, which is Samadhi Shatka Sampatti, we saw the six qualities, Samam Tamam Uparati Diksha, so on and so forth. Okay, now the crux of the matter, the main portion of the text is starting, and the main portion of the text is saying Tattva Vivekaha Kaha Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mityeti. So what is Tattva Viveka? What is the discrimination of the nature of truth? The discrimination of the nature of truth is Atma Satyam. The Atma, the self, is the only truth. Tad anyat, other than that, Sarvam Mithya, everything else is Mithya or dream. Iti. So Mithya Iti. So that is what is going to be Tattva Viveka. So in order to understand this, we need to understand what is Atma. Now when we are speaking about absolute reality, Vedanta is taking a shortcut. That is, instead of looking at the outside world and saying this is not true, that is not true, you are not true, my mother is not true, my father is not true, instead of doing all of these things, it is simply saying and analyzing what we know the best. What do we know the best? We may think that we know mathematics. I am the best mathematician in the whole world. I am the best physician in the whole world. I am the best medical practitioner in the whole world. All these things you can say. But that knowledge of external things, there will always be a greater person than you in that field. Or there might be a greater person than you in the future. There would have been a greater person than you in the past. But from the moment you are born to the moment you leave this body, one thing that you can say is that I know this very well. Nobody else knows this than myself. Whether it is gearing towards realization or it is simply gearing towards living your own life, you always claim that you know this body, this mind, this yourself very well. So Vedanta is also starting there. It is starting by making a statement, by understanding the Atma, you can understand the Brahman. So by understanding in order to understand the Atma, you need to understand all that which is not Atma. And you can easily say this table is not me, but you cannot easily say this body is not me. You will say this table belongs to me, this computer belongs to me, this book belongs to me, but I am not the book, I am not the camera, I am not the headphone, whatever. But at the same time, you will not say this head belongs to me, I am not the head. You will not easily say like that. So in order to realize that, in order to understand that, we are further going to analyze Atma through negation. That is the next step of the process. So Tattva Vivekaha Kaha. What is enquiry into truth? Enquiry into truth is Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mityeti. This is the statement which we are trying to prove. And here there is a very important word that is being used in Advaita called mithya. So what is mithya and what is asat? Well, mithya is dreaming, maya is illusion, asat is untrue. These three are not one and the same. Even though they behave like one and the same in terms of ignorance, they are not one and the same, because asat is something which cannot exist, not true. For example, son of a barren woman. This is a traditional example that we give. Son of a barren woman is not true, because if a son is born to a woman, she is not barren anymore. Okay, so son of a barren woman or the horns of a rabbit, all these things are untrue, totally untrue, asat. They cannot exist, they are eternally non-existent. And maya is like seeing water in the desert, seeing water in the desert, mirage, that is maya. So seeing something that which is not actually there, that is maya. Now if you are only seeing this, okay, that is maya, but if you are experiencing it, that is mithya. Maya contributes to mithya, mithya contributes to maya. They are very, very closely related. We will not go into the analysis of maya and mithya right now, but we will only say one thing, that is mithya is very much in your experience, very much a reality. For example, mithya means dream. When you are dreaming, your body is reacting to your dream, but when you wake up, that dream is not reality. Similarly, mithya is the state wherein you are realizing, you are undergoing, you are experiencing, and that is your reality. There is no argument against that. So that is the difference between a mithyavadi and a mayavadi. To a mayavadi, everything is illusion, so you exist without it. You show me. That is the question that Shankara is asking. You show me that you can exist without whatever you are calling as maya. You leave everything and you show me what you are. There will be nothing left to show. Okay, eating food is maya, okay, be without eating food. Taking bath is maya, be without taking bath. I think some of our viewers will be following the second one. Please don't follow that, it is not good for you and for the society. So take bath. And eating, of course we have to eat. So but when you say mithya, you are saying I am taking bath in a dream, I am eating in a dream, so I am fulfilled, I am clean in my dream, but when I wake up, none of this is true. That is the difference between mithya, maya. Asat is something that is totally non-existent. Story over. So when we speak about mithya, we give the example of the rope and the snake. That is, you are looking at a rope in the darkness. It is looking like snake to you. So all the feelings that are associated with the snake, like fear or jugupsa, that is aversion, all of these things that which is associated with the snake will come to you. So when you turn on the light fully and you see that it is only a rope, it will vanish. So this is the example of mithya, and it is a very subtle difference. This will come to play in a huge manner when we are doing a lot of analysis in the future. So just keep that in mind. So now we have said, okay, Atma Satyam, Atma is the only truth. Other than that, everything is mithya, everything is all that is unreal. So unreal, and unreal not in as in asat, unreal as in mithya. Okay. I'm sorry. So we have stated this. Immediately the student is asking, Atma kaha, what is Atma? Huge explanation is going to happen after this. I don't know how I am going to split it into videos and do it, but we will try as much as we can to bring all the concepts together, to go back to the old concepts. If it is being split into episodes, we will go back to the older concepts again and again to remind them back to you. So we will try to learn. So here, what is Atma? Atma kaha? Stula Sukshma Karana Sarirat Vyadiriktaha Panchakosha Atitaha San Avastha Traya Sakshi Satchidananda Swarupaha San Yas Tishtati Sa Atma. So what is the definition that is being given here? Stula Sukshma Karana Sarirat Vyatiriktaha. It is apart from, Vyatiriktaha is apart from three things, which is Stula Sharira, physical body, Sukshma Sharira, it can be called as subtle body, and then Karana Sharira is causal body. So it is different from the Sthula Sharira, it is different from the Sukshma Sharira, and it is different from the Karana Sharira. These three things it is different. Okay. Vyatiriktaha. And then Panchakosha Atitaha. It is apart from, it is beyond the five sheaths of our existence. These five sheaths can be split into these three shariras. We will see how that is happening later. Okay. Then Avastha Traya Sakshihi. It is the witness for the three states of being, the three states of existence, the three states in which we exist. Our consciousness is existing in three states. So it is the Sakshi, it is the observer or the witness for the three states of existence. Do not worry, we will see all of these things in very much detail, in meticulous detail. We will see each one of these words, the meaning of those terms, because as I told you before, the purpose of this text is to give you the meaning of the terms that we are going to deal with in Advaita. So Avasthatraya Sakshi, and then Satchidananda Swarupaha Sanna. Satchidananda Swarupa Sanna, meaning it is Satchidananda Swarupa. It is the existence, consciousness, and bliss. Truth, Chit is will and will or being, and then truth, being, will, and then consciousness, bliss. So this is the combination Sat, Chit, Ananda. Satchidananda Swarupa. It is in the form of Sat, truth, Chit, will or consciousness, and Ananda, bliss. So it is in that state. San, Saha, that which is Tishtati, remains, that is the self. So that which is remaining as true, that which is remaining as consciousness, and that which is remaining as blissful eternally, that is Atma. What is it not? It is not the three bodies, the causal body, the gross body, and the subtle body. It is not the five sheaths of our existence, of our of our constituency, and it is not the it is the Sakshi, it is the witness for all the three states of being. So and finally it is in the form of Satchidananda, and that is what is Atma, what remains after removing all these things, and it is in the form of Satchidananda, that which is Atma. So we have seen this. So now we are going to go into the next one. We are going to see each of these bodies, starting with the gross body. Do not worry if you are straight away not getting all of these terms, because the text itself is existing in order to go into each of these terms and explain it to us in meticulous detail. So Sthula Shariram Kim. What is Sthula Shariram? Okay. Panchikrita Panchamaha Bhutaihi Kritam Satkarma Janyam Sugadukkadi Boha Ayatanam Shariram Asti Jayate Vardate Viparinamate Apakshiyate Vinashayati Iti Shatvigara Etat Sthula Shariram. So this is the definition that is being given. What is the definition? Panchikrita Panchamaha Bhutaihi Kritam. It is formed of the Panchamaha Bhutas, the five great elements, that which has been done Panchikritam, that which has undergone Panchikritam. What is Panchikritam? Panchikritam is a concept that which is saying how each element contains the other elements. That is a huge concept, that is a huge metaphysical concept which we will deal with in time. That is a huge metaphysical concept. If I start explaining what is Panchikritam, that itself will go on for 2 or 3 videos. I will do that later. So just to understand, gross body has the 5 elements which has undergone some process. Let us say process X called Panchikritam. We will keep that as a variable right now, and we will define that variable later on, because it has to be defined after understanding the formation of the 3 gunas during the creation of the universe. Only when you understand how the 3 gunas are being formed, you will understand how Panchikritam can happen. So that will be going far ahead of the text. So traditionally we will simply say, for now let us understand, let us assume that we understand what is Panchikritam, and let us say, okay, this gross body is created of the 5 elements Panchikrita Panchamaha Bhutaihi Kritam. It is formed because of the 5 great elements which has undergone this process X called Panchikritam. Panchikrita Panchamaha Bhutaihi Kritam. And then Satkarma Janyam. It is formed because of good karma. this is, you can say it is formed because of good and bad karma, but Vedanta is of the opinion that the moment you have come here for studying Vedanta, you are listening to this, that means you are actually doing the purpose of your body. What your body is supposed to do, you are doing that, so you have good karma. This is the basis for saying Satkarmajanyam and not just Karmajanyam or Sat Asat Karmajanyam. It is saying Satkarmajanyam because this body is Dandunam Narajanma Durlapam Ata Bumstvam Tato Viprata. So in Viveka Chudamani, Adi Shankara is saying the body is formed because of hundreds of janmas of Sukarma, of Punya Karma. Only because of the virtue of many janmas, only because of the Satkarma of many janmas, we have got this human form. That is the Shraddha that we have. That is the Dhrida Vishwasha that we have. So we must not waste this, we must use this in order to go beyond this. So that is the basic concept of Vedanta. Based on that, it is saying Satkarma Janyam. It is created because of good karma. That is why you are listening to Vedanta using this Sthula Sharira. So it is Satkarma only. Let us assume like that. Let us understand like that. Okay. Now, Satkarma Janyam, and then Sukha Dukkadi Bhoga Ayatanam. It is the counter or the seat across which this transaction of Sukha and Dukkha etc. are happening. So this Sukha, Dukkha, and then love and hate, all these things, Icha, Dvesha, and then Raga, all these things are happening, okay, across this counter of the physical body. Across this counter of the physical body. Okay. Sukha Dukkadi Bhoga Ayatanam. Shariram. Then the word Shariram is itself is used. That is, the meaning of Shariram is Shiryamanatvat Shariram. Meaning, it is that which is destroying or that which decays or disintegrates with time is called as Shariram. That is the definition given for the word Shariram. Shariram means that which will disintegrate along time. How it disintegrates, we will see. Asti jayate, vardate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashayati, iti shatvikaravat. So there are 6 vikaras or 6 transmutations or transformations for this body, for this physical body. What are the 6 transformations or transmutations? That is, asti, exists, and then jayate, is born, and then vardate, it grows, viparinamate, it matures or it attains the peak of growth, apakshiyate, then it starts to decay or decline, and finally vinashayati, so it is finally being destroyed. First, asti. Where do we hear this term asti? When a couple has conceived a child and the doctor is confirming a child is there inside your womb. When he is telling the mother that a child is there inside your womb, that is the point of time when we are in the state of asti, when the child is in the state of asti, or when that being is in the state of asti, it is just there. Then jayate, it is born, and then vardate, it is growing, and then viparinamate, it is attaining the peak of its youth, it is attaining the peak of its life, probably around 20 or 30 years, whatever. Okay, and then after that apakshiyate, it starts going downwards. First the curve is going upwards, when the peak has been reached it is going downwards, and then finally vinashayati, getting destroyed. So iti shatvikaravat. So these 6 vikaras are there, these 6 transmutations or forms are there for this body. That is etat sthula shariram, that is called as sthula shariram. So we saw that sthula shariram is formed of the panchamahabhutas which have undergone panchikritam process, okay, undergone the process of grossification. We can call it as grossification for now, okay, and we will see what is grossification later on. Okay, so panchikrita panchamahabhutai kritam, and then shatkarma janyam, sukha dukkadi bhoga ayatanam, and then shariram, asti jayate, vardate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashayate iti shatvigaravati etat sthula shariram. Okay, now let us go to the next body, the subtle body. Sukshma shariram kim? Okay, apanchikrita पंचमहाभूतैः कृतं सत्कर्मजन्यं सुखदुःखादि भोगसाधनं पंच ज्ञानेन्द्रियाणि पंच कर्मेन्द्रियाणि पंच प्राणेन्द्रियः पंच प्राणादयः मनश्च एकं बुद्धिश्च एका एवं शब्ददश कलाभिः सह यस्तिष्ठति तत् सूक्ष्म शरीरम्. So what is this sukshma shariram? What is this subtle body that we are speaking about? First thing is apanchikrita panchamahabhutaihi kritam. It is formed of the panchamahabhutas in their nascent, in their original natural state. Apanchikrita panchamahabhutaihi kritam. And then what is the second one? Satkarmajanyam. Same as the stula sharira. This is also formed because of our good karma. Satkarmajanyam. And then Sugha Dukkadi Bhoga Sadhanam. This is the instrument from where Sugha and Dukkha are generated. That Sugha and Dukkha, which is generated from the Sukshma Sharira, is what is being transacted in the Stula Sharira. Okay, so we will see how this is working by looking at what are the constituents of the Sukshma Sharira. What are the constituents? There are Saptadasha Kalabhihi, 17 tattvas or 17 different petals. Kala is like one portion of a pie. So there are 17 portions to this pie of Stula Shariram. What are the 17 portions? Pancha Jnanendriyani, the 5 sense organs, the 5 organs of knowing, the 5 organs of knowledge. And then Pancha Karmendriyani, the 5 organs of action. And then Pancha Pranadayaha, the 5 pranas are the 5 life forces that which is making this body alive. So if this prana has been removed from the body, then the body will become a dead body. So Pancha Pranadayaha, and then Manas, and then Buddhi. Manas is the total collection of the thoughts, and Buddhi is the intellect. Evam Sabdadasha Kalabhihi. So only these things form the 17 different portions of the Tatu Sukshma Shariram. What is Saha Yastishtati? So that which is having all of these things together, and that which is existing with because of the collection of these things. And if you remove all of these things, then that which will not exist, that is called as Sukshma Shariram. So what are the 17 things? The 5 sensory organs, and then the 5 organs of action. We will see each one of these separately. There is a definition and explanation, table chart, everything is there for all of these 5. So we have, what do we have here? 5 plus 5, 10. Jnanendriya, Karmendriya. 5 actions of knowledge, 5 actions of, 5 organs of knowledge and 5 organs of action. 10. Plus another 5. Pancha Pranadayaha, Pranabana, Vyanodana, Samana. So the 5 pranas are another 5, 15, plus 1, 16 manas, and plus 1 buddhi or the intellect. Okay, so these things together, yastishtati, that which is existing together because of this, that which the existence of that which has come together because of these elements, that is Sukshma Shariram. That is Sukshma Shariram. Okay, now next we have to actually go to Karana Shariram, but without going to Karana Shariram, we are going to go through, we are going to go through each one of these and see what they are. Okay, so what are the organs of perception? So they are explaining Shrotram, Tvak, Shakshuhu, Rasana, Granam iti Pancha Jnanendriyani. Srotrasya Digdevata Tvak, one second, yeah, Srodrasya Digdevata, then Tvacho Vayuhu, Shakshuhu, Sakshauha Suryaha, Rasanaya Varunaha, Granasya Ashvinau iti Jnanendriya Devata. Srotrasya Vishayaha Sabdagrahanam, Tvacho Vishayaha Sparshagrahanam, Shakshusho Vishayaha Rupagrahanam, Rasanaya Vishayaha Rasagrahanam, Granasya Vishayaha Gantagrahanam iti. So now they are explaining what are the 17 tattvas of the Stula Sharira, the Acharya is explaining by himself without any question. There is no question in the middle. There is no question. What is what are the what is this particular thing that you called as Pancha Jnanendriya? That question is not there. Guru himself is explaining. He is saying Stotram Tvaku Shakshuhu Rasana Grahanam iti Pancha Jnanendriyani. Shrotram, ears, Tvaku, skin, Chakshuhu, eyes, Rasana, tongue, Granam, nose. So these are the Pancha Indriya, Jnana Indriya. These are the 5 organs of knowledge. And then he is describing the Devatas, or the deities which are which are responsible, and the deities which are existing in each of these places. Okay. Srotasya Dik Devata. The Dik Devatas are responsible for the ears. And then Tvacho Vayuhu. That is for the Tvak, for the skin, the Devata is air, Vayuhu. And then Sakshushaha Suryaha, Surya for the eyes. And then Rasanaya Varunaha, for the tongue, Varuna. And then Granasya Ashvinau, for the 2 nostrils, Ashwini Devata. And then iti Jnanendriya Devata. So these are the Jnanendriya Devatas. There is a huge explanation as to how each one becomes the Devata for each of these things. We will not go into that. So Srotrasya Vishayaha Sabdagrahanam. The purpose or the function of Shrotra, that is the ears, is Shabdagrahanam. It is to receive the sound. It is to receive the sound. And then Tvacho Vishayaha Sparshagrahanam. Tvako Vishayaha Sabdagrahanam. Tvak, there is a small variation there. Tvak is the right one. So Tvaka Vishayaha Sparshagrahanam. The functionality of the skin is reception of touch, reception of the feeling of touch. And then Chakshusho Vishayaha Rupagrahanam. So the purpose or the Vishayam of the eyes, the functionality of the eyes is Rupagrahanam. Rupam means 2 things in Sanskrit. One is form and another one is color. So for both the form and the color, what is the what is the organ? That is eyes. And then Rasanaya Vishayaha Rasanagrahanam. So the purpose of, or the functionality of the tongue is to receive the taste. And finally Granasya Vishayaha Gandagrahanam iti. The purpose of the nose is to receive the smell, and this is the this combination is what is called as Pancha Jnanendriyani. Okay. Then we have to see Pancha Karmendriyani. Before that, I think we will see what are the 5 organs of action in the next videos. So basically, let us understand one thing. Even though we are saying the eyes, the nose, everything is existing in the physical form, okay, when the Stula Sharira alone is existing, it is not there. That sense is not there. For example, when we say a blind person, it does not mean he does not have eyes. Something is missing in those eyes, that even if he is having eyes, he is not able to see. This is permanent condition of absence of the particular indriya, that what is called as the Chakshur Indriya, that which is missing. And for understanding what is Chakshur Indriya, we will see the Tarka Sangraha later. I will take that in the next video. I will take and explain what is missing for a blind person. And similarly, we lose our sense of smell when we are having cold. The nose is still there, breath is still going in and coming outside, but something is there in the middle, some breakage is there in the middle, that we are not able to receive that smell. The smell is there, nose is there, but it is not receiving when you are having a cold. So it is not physical. We need to understand the 5 organs of knowledge, or the 5 sensory organs, are listed as subtle body because there is something existing in them. Something existing in them, that which is making these 5 organs work. And when we explain what is that thing, that actually the Mahabhutas are what is existing in each of the Indriyas. The Mahabhutas are what is existing. The 5 great elements are what are existing in these 5, and they are the ones that is making these work. For example, you have to have Agni in your eyes. Okay, because one of the 3 places of physical existence of the non-eternal fire is this one, eyes, Krishna Taragravarti. That is, in the middle of the black pupil is where that fire element is existing, the subtle fire element is existing in its own form, not in the form of the body heat, that is Panchikritam. Apanchikrita form, that is in its natural form, fire is existing here, that is why we are able to receive it. And in the nose, this thing, earth tattva is existing in the subtle form, that is why we are able to know the smell. If this earth tattva is blocked by mucus, then we are not able to get the smell. If we take something too hot or too cold, our tongue is becoming numb, then the water tattva, that which is existing in the tongue, is blocked, we are not able to know the taste. So this is the basic definition and understanding why the Pancha Mahabhutas are in their natural form, and it is in the Stula Sharira, sorry, in the Sukshma Sharira, and that is the reason why the 5 sensory organs are included in the subtle body and not in the gross body. Okay, so that being said, we will end this video. There is a lot to explain on this note. We have to see the full text in order to understand it. Do not worry, as much we have to go back again and again, and we have to recollect and remember things, we will do, and we will understand it completely. So that being said, we will end this video. Tacham yora vranimahe gatum yajnaya gatum yajnapataye daivi swastirastunaha swastir manushebhyaha urdun jigadu veshajam shanno astu dvipataye sanchatushpate aum shanti shanti shantihi namas sadase. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.